With no friends and no connections to celebrities, Alex Velluto finds random strangers on the internet classifieds and interviews them in exchange for a free lunch. This is Free Lunch with Alex Velluto.
Welcome to another week of Free Lunch. This week our guest's name is Joe. He is a mechanic now, but originally wanted to be a pilot until he had a kid who crushed his dreams. Don't you hate it when that happens? He told a story about the first time he got drunk and caught a goose. He has a YouTube channel where he said that he walks on water and makes airplanes out of garbage bags. We talked a lot about arguing on the internet. He has some interesting views. We also talked about a new Olympic event idea that I think will be very successful. So stick around for the newest episode of Free Lunch with Joe. Cool, thanks for doing it. We're on now.
Oh.
And
yeah.
so you're the first one in the history of the podcast so far to score some steak. We're here at Outback Steakhouse. Got you a steak dinner, so you better put out conversation-wise.
Yeah.
So I've been talking about my bologna, but what's your deal? What are you up to these days?
These days. That sounds like I'm a mechanic, so that's always
nice.
the first thing that gets thrown out. But people always ask, "Oh, what do you do?" And I didn't want to be a mechanic, so I always feel like that's a cop-out answer. Like,
what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a pilot.
Oh, okay.
I did get my private pilot's license, so that worked out a little bit. But then my first kid popped out, and we were gonna wait till all the licenses were done, but you can't always wait. So
nope. Yeah, I always say I wanted to call my kid Bob Ross because he was a happy accident.
Yeah. Ross.
Yep. Do you know Bob Ross?
I feel like I should.
He's the painter guy on PBS with the big fro.
Yeah, happy accident.
Yeah, he'd always say,
I should know exactly
there's no
what this
mistakes,
is.
there's only happy accidents. How old is your kid now?
My first is 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So does he know he ruined your pilot dreams?
It's a girl, and no, she doesn't.
Oh, she? Yeah, okay.
She doesn't know yet. She'll know someday, but we talk about buying an airplane anyway still.
Oh, nice.
So we're still working toward, it'll probably change it being a career exactly how it is, but.
Yeah. So what plane are you looking into?
Well, Piper PA-20, Comanche, is a 6-seater, and I've got 4 kids now.
Oh, yeah.
So that would let us put them all
in there.
in
So
there.
you have to get the minivan of airplanes now.
Yep. And I told my wife, when we got to 2, I'm like, if we stop now, we can get a small airplane. We keep on going, the airplane's getting bigger and bigger. So,
when you do get the airplane, you have to put all those stupid stickers on the back with all your kids on them. So the other airplanes
they know.
have a baby on board sticker so the other airplanes can see not to crash into your airplane.
Well, at this point, we're waiting until the baby isn't a baby anymore. So the baby on board, that'll have grown out, I guess.
Uh-huh. How old is your youngest?
My youngest is 3, about to turn 4.
Oh, cool.
So.
That's awesome. What were you looking for on the classifieds when you ran across this
Actually,
podcast?
my friend was looking on the classifieds,
and
he pulled it up and he's like, this seems like you. You would do this. I wouldn't do this. And I would do that. So.
Are you notorious for doing weird stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't usually call it weird stuff, but...
What do you call it?
I don't know. I guess other people call it adventurous, but...
Adventurous.
I don't know. I don't think I'm super adventurous, but I like to question what's normal. I like to just try different things and whatever else, and it usually leads into not really having any boundaries. And I think that's why they call it adventurous, because most people know, okay, this is outside of normal, and I'm like, I don't know what is normal. Which is usually more problematic when I'm trying to be normal than when I'm just doing whatever.
I have the same problem. Well, there's sometimes I think I have like Asperger's or something, like I'm on the spectrum. Oh, thank you. That's his. There's your steak. But then I took this like personality aptitude test, and it said like one of my strengths was empathy. So turns out I am. Oh, thank you.
Anything else right now?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So it turns out I was picking up on all the social cues the whole time. I'm just probably horrible socially. But what's a time, you said you don't have many boundaries.
Yeah,
has there
I
been
don't
a
think
time
I've done
that's-
anything super crazy. If I tried to list things off, people would probably start thinking I'm mild. But I try to not stop myself on what I think people would accept or not. So
Okay.
usually I'm climbing on buildings and jumping off of stuff and just doing junk like that.
Oh, really?
I'm
Still?
usually pretty socially unacceptable, yeah.
That's most of your rebellion is just climbing things then?
Yeah, I guess a lot of the time.
have you
The first
climbed?
time I got drunk, I went and caught a goose in my friend's yard and brought it in the house.
Oh.
And so,
Why
so
were there
usually,
geese in your front yard?
oh no, my friend's backyard. They
Oh,
have
your friend's-
Yeah, they have ducks and geese.
Oh, they had ducks
and stuff.
And you caught a goose?
Yeah, they told me I was being obnoxious and I had to leave the house. And I'm like, so, if you kick a drunk person out of the house, you should expect something bizarre to happen with the night. If you can't be in the house, you gotta. What are you gonna end up
So
with?
you bring the goose into the house,
Yeah.
you're wasted.
Yeah,
What
by the
happens after that?
Oh, they got mad at me for bringing it in the house, so I put it down, of course. By the time you're drunk
put
enough
it-
to get kicked out of the
put it
house.
down as in put
the
it
house.
outside.
No,
Oh,
put it down in the house.
in the house.
If you're drunk enough to get kicked out of the house and you decide you're catching a goose, you shouldn't tell the person to put the goose down, like get rid of the goose. So then we had to catch a goose in the
That's
house.
a
but-
lot of ways that could be misinterpreted.
Yeah.
You got put the goose down as in like kill it, or put the goose down because it's of the goose down feathers,
Mm-hmm.
or put it down and you're inebriated. So
Yeah.
you could have misconstrued that situation.
Yeah, definitely.
How long until they let you back into their home?
Oh, they're softies. They let me right back.
Oh, that's
in.
good.
We
Are you
caught
still
it.
in touch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was that was the friend that found the ad on
Oh.
the classifieds.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Does he do crazy stuff too, or not so much?
Not so much. No.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty mild. Well,
What's his
he's
name?
not
Let's
mild.
shout him out.
Mike Brune.
Mike Bruno.
And I think he texted you too. Actually, he got jealous that I was going to be getting a free meal, and
Oh, is he
and,
doing one too?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't.
Well, he seems boring though, so
I wouldn't say he's boring. He just
not willing to go on adventures as much.
I don't know. He's a little ridiculous. When I do my YouTube, I usually call up all my friends and tell them, "Hey, I'm making shoes to walk on water," and they'll all tell me that I'm being ridiculous and they go away, and he'll actually tape buckets together on his feet and go fall in the pond. And
Oh, cool.
it's just ridiculous. So
Wait,
he'll
so
be
you
ridiculous
made shoes
with me.
to
but-
walk on water?
Yeah.
Was your YouTube channel just recreating all of Jesus' miracles?
No, it wasn't. But
Like and subscribe if you're a
might bring some
leper. We'll
stuff,
come
yeah.
on the show and we'll cure your leprosy.
Yeah.
Turning water into wine next week. So did it
That
work?
might be a
You
feat.
made
Yeah.
you made water walking shoes.
Yeah, I made it about halfway across Highland Pond, and then I started to get waterlogged, and then lost traction and fell. But so I've since cured the leaks, and I wanted to go out and walk again, but haven't been there. So
What does your wife think of your stunts and exploits?
she enjoys them.
That's good.
Yeah, she follows along.
That's
she
awesome.
everyone calls her my cheerleader. Most people tell me if I was married to anyone else, half my stuff wouldn't happen. But
Well, what else did you do on that YouTube channel? That sounds interesting.
wow, we did a lot of things. I made an airplane out of garbage bags and 2x4s, and I had to weld the frame out of some aluminum, but it still hasn't left the ground. We have plans to go drag it around in the desert and get a little more speed.
Do you think it'll fly?
I'm gonna have to change the wings from garbage bags to paper,
Oh,
and I
okay.
think it will fly at that point. I'm hoping.
Okay.
But
That's got to make the Wright brothers feel stupid if you can make a plane out
I don't
of
know.
garbage bags.
They rolled down a hill, and I failed at that. So my plan is to drag it behind a car out in the desert. So I don't know if they'd feel stupid. I think they'd feel
Can I
like,
come?
well, at least we did it down a hill. This
Yeah,
guy had to
that's
go
true.
drag it behind a
They were
modern
lucky
miracle.
had hills at Kitty Hawk.
Yeah.
So you built an airplane out of just some garbage stuff?
Yeah, well, the original plan was supposed to be all garbage. and
All garbage.
I found I had to kind of step it up and get... So we tried more for unusual stuff rather than just garbage.
Oh, okay. So where did that idea come from?
Well,
I know you're a pilot.
Yeah, so there was a little bit of that, and I always wanted to make an airplane, so that came in too.
Okay.
But the original channel was just set up around doing things using the wrong stuff was kind of the original idea.
Oh, okay.
So me and one other friend decided to go, and so usually we try and compete. But one of our first episodes we called Icebox, and basically they were Klondike sleds. And then we went up in the mountains and just found a ridiculous hill that he called the Big Drift. I don't know what the name of the canyon actually is, but we have video of him getting about 45 miles an hour on the back of the back of a wheelchair tied to skis and just tumbling end over end. And actually, because of that, when I brought up airplanes, he said,
pause.
No.
Okay, so how injured did he get?
He fared pretty good. The snow was really deep, so he said it hurt really bad, but we didn't have to
no broken
cart him out.
bones.
Yeah, no broken bones.
Gosh. So I interviewed this other guy the other week that kind of did a similar thing of like he got on Jerry of the Day, like he took his canoe over a waterfall and like it tipped over or something. Like he'd do all these. I'm interviewing a lot of people that have tried crazy stuff on the wall. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's called Kajigger.
Kajigger? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I kind of got it from Futurama.
Oh, okay.
We just refer to it Kajigger, which is kind of like a thingamajig or like a rigamaroo.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like an unusual invention, I think is the dictionary definition.
Oh, it's an actual word? Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
So when I first came up with it, no one had the name Kajigger. That was another big push.
Oh, yeah.
We were looking up a few different names and got on YouTube and researched and I thought, cool, nobody's named Kajigger anywhere on anything. And
I've never heard of that word.
Yeah,
and I like to consider myself a partaker of the English vocabulary. Very loquacious, but I haven't heard of Kajigger.
Yeah.
When's the last time you did a YouTube video?
It's been about 2 years since we posted anything. We got stuck in editing, so I've got about 4 episodes that I keep thinking we'll finish editing it and start pushing some more content out. But
yeah, that's a big bottleneck, I should know.
Yeah.
And now this time, you haven't seen the shot, but this is up there. It's the bald spot cam. So
the bald spot cam?
Yeah, you can see how much my hair has receded on those videos you saw me in. Here's a secret for the internet. I was using this powder stuff to make it seem like my hair was more full. I was using
that's great.
George Washington era powdered wig technology to appear more handsome for.
I remember in the 90s they had a spray. They'd always get people on TV and they'd just spray paint their head. See, poof, gone.
I tried that and it looked horrible. And I tried to wash it out. And then it just ran all down my face. I looked like a Grudge character. And like I had to go into work right away, and so I still had some residue on my face, and it was not a good look. So I can't endorse that product. How are you? You seem to be doing well, baldness-wise.
It's starting to change quite a bit. I have a scar right here that's well under my forehead that used to be about 1 inch into my hairline as a kid. So when I say I'm balding, most people tell me I'm not. But when you've seen it go, you're like, come back.
I know,
Stop running from me.
Are you doing anything to try and keep it from...
Oh, not yet. Well, I grew my hair out a little below my shoulders, and I kind of liked that. But I noticed it was coming out in clumps and receding a lot faster that way. So I specifically cut my hair because of the hair loss, in hopes it would make it stay around a little longer. But
you had long hair up until recently?
Up until about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. Perhaps.
So did you have the long hair when you were walking across the water?
No, I think it was still growing out at that point. So it was just kind of an 80s ugly. Yeah, that would work great with walking.
Missed opportunity. Yeah. Well, we don't know what his haircut was.
Yeah.
He's always portrayed a certain way.
Yeah, it is interesting.
We don't know if he had long flowing hair.
Yeah.
I don't like the paintings of him where it looks like he's in a photo studio.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's the type that would get glamour shots at Olin Mills.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when he's got like the glamour look. He's like, he's turned looking in there. Like,
don't worry about a flash. I've got a natural glow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So silly. Anyway, what's a hot take you've got?
A hot take?
Like maybe a controversial opinion that you have.
Ooh, a controversial opinion. I jump to the worst stuff when you ask it like that.
No. Okay, what's the third worst thing? I don't know if we can go with the first worst thing.
Yeah. You know, my opinion on homosexuality is probably really middle of the road in some parts of the world. But here it seems to alienate absolutely everybody that I talk to, no matter where they land in the...
Okay, how have you managed to alienate
So
everyone?
usually I do believe it is a choice, which is a really controversial thing to say on one side of the spectrum. But I usually feel that way based on people I've known, people I've talked to, and some life experiences. But I also, believing it's a choice, believe everyone absolutely has the choice to do whatever they want. So I'm usually arguing that's like, let's live and let live, and it's fine. It's fine whatever those people want to do, 100%. Just don't force me to say I believe the same. And by the time I say, well, don't force me to say it's okay, that pisses the one side off as well. Like, I don't want to say I'm all right with it, but I'm also never.
I can't say I agree with it, but I do applaud the fact that you've managed to alienate.
Yeah. Usually, if I just don't get into the details, I can make both sides happy. But if people want to really understand what I believe, everybody's pissed off. The whole room.
Boy.
So.
Has that gotten you in trouble before?
Only mildly, not in any real bad ways.
Okay.
I usually get along with people pretty well, and so usually everyone thinks I'm really
Do you have
polite.
Any gay friends or not so much?
Well, I don't think I've met any gay people that wanted to be my friend in a very long time.
Well, I wouldn't lead off with that thing that you said.
Yeah,
but.
absolutely. I had a class about 8 months ago, and there were 2 or 3 gay people in that class, and we all walked away being friends, but we never talked to each other either, so it's a pretty loose term to say friends.
Yeah.
But if they were calling me and I wasn't calling them, I think I'd have to worry about my standpoint, but they don't call me either, so we're just all, indifferent.
So the opposite opinion would be that you don't believe it's a choice, but that it should be illegal anyway. That would also piss off everybody. I'm trying to think, is there a way to please everybody?
I'm not sure that there is.
I don't think there is.
Yeah. I think the best way to please everybody is just to not have an opinion at all. You know what I mean? And so that you don't call out people.
I do have an opinion on this issue,
yeah.
but in general, I believe we have too many opinions on too many things.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. It's like we're fighting all the time on the internet because we all think our opinion's important.
Absolutely. I was thinking about this earlier, actually, and most of us, I think, are pushing for ideals at that point. And I think the only way we get ideals is in exchange for freedom. If we get exactly everything we want, somebody else had to give up something that they would have wanted instead, just because we're all so diverse. And so I think freedom is really the ability for all of us to get what we want with some degree of compromise on tolerating some things people do that we don't like.
Right.
But if we created an ideal world, it would be in compromise. And a lot of those compromises would force us to not do what we want to do.
Yeah.
So I
have a hard time compromising. And also I think that compromise is not conducive to like the media environment that's set up now. Because to get attention now, everything needs to be very salacious, either one way or the other way, and very controversial. That's what gets clicks and comments and even news stories. And like all the algorithms on the websites are set up to like where the most controversial thing will get pushed to everyone because everyone is commenting. And the compromise is usually in the middle, and it's very boring.
Oh, yeah.
Compromise is kind of a boring process, and no one's happy about it. Or at least they're like okay with it to the point that they don't want to talk about it. So there's this silent middle ground of people that want to compromise on things that aren't getting any sort of publicity, and it really makes me mad because I think that the boring compromising people that kind of don't have opinions on everything or might like solve problems. But
well, there's the 80-20 rule that applies to all kinds of stuff, but I think 80%
I think I've heard of this.
People,
what is it?
Well, usually 80-20 is you'll get 80% of your results from 20% of your effort.
Oh, okay.
And vice versa. So that last 20% gets you, or the last 80% of your effort only gets you another 20%.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've seen it applied to a lot of things, and I think if we really did research, I think 80% of people believe or agree on somewhere in that middle, in at least the range that we could all compromise and move on. And it's that last 20% that's on either side of the spectrum, tugging back and forth.
Oh, okay. So you think that 80% of people don't really have hard opinions on things and they're willing to compromise?
At least not so hard that they couldn't find a way to compromise.
Okay.
And I think it's just that last extremes that kind of pull everyone to one side or the other. But I think in the past, people understood you didn't have to join in with someone's thought if it wasn't exactly what you thought. Nowadays, someone says something extreme and we kind of go, well, I feel closer to that than this, so I guess I'll just start yelling.
Yeah, you
for
have
this
to go
camp.
this, but even though that extreme is not what you totally agree with either, it's still closer. Well, that's a hopeful thought that 80% of people are like reasonable, rational. That makes me...
I could be wrong, but I feel like
I hope it is too, because, oh my gosh, people get so caught up in like what people are saying on the internet and just in general. And like, I haven't known any person that I respect that has posted a long diatribe on Facebook. Like, I don't think those are smart people, but they're the ones that are determining the algorithm and what's getting pushed out to everyone.
That's true.
And so I just hate how like the loudest people on both sides are the ones that are dictating the conversation instead of hopefully 80% of people in the middle.
Well,
but there's no way that 80% of the people... What do you think the solution is, Joe?
I don't know. That's the question that can solve it everything. But
yeah, and the more we're talking about this, the more I'm thinking like people always want to strive to be happy. I want to reach my most happy state, but that's going to make a lot like the other half of people miserable. So what I think the solution might be is that we all learn to be just a little bit miserable. We're not all the way happy and we're not all the way miserable. We're just in the middle, and that is the optimum place to be. Just sort of meh. I think we should be the United States of meh. That's what we should be striving for.
Yeah.
Just sort of it's okay. And that's fine. I think that's the best possible outcome is meh.
That could be true. I've never made anybody happy by me climbing a building.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy. I want to climb the building.
You wanted to climb. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. Chime in on the comments, you commenters that I just besmirched.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, a lot of people are wanting to comment.
I mean,
right
I really
now,
do hope people comment because it will
really
make this video go bigger, but in reality, I don't really like it that much. Like, for societal reasons, I don't like it, but please comment on this video. Please like the podcast. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, too, though, because when you hear something you agree with, most of the time, our reaction is just like, yeah, I agree with that, and then it goes dead. But it's when someone really pisses you off one way or the other.
Oh, I know that. Then you have
get
the
on there
big...
and say what I think.
Oh, I know. So if you, like, mildly... Like, if you agree with someone... Yeah, maybe it's just enforcing positivity some more.
Yeah.
Like, things that you agree... Like, if there was a way to make the algorithm of society promote things that were, like, positive, then... And those things were the ones that were circulating instead of all this negative stuff. I feel like we'd be in a lot better place. But that's a very hokey, fake, influencer-y thing to say. Let's create positivity.
Just create positivity. Good vibrations. Send them out into the universe.
Yes. It sounds stupid when it comes out of my mouth, but I think that's the way it should be. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Let's change the subject. It's got kind of heavy, but I liked it. I appreciated it. So these are like conversation starter cards.
Oh, okay.
So I like to...
I was wondering if you were going to do magic.
Oh, no, I can. You can pick a card, and then we'll answer the question on the card. There we go.
Do I read it or do you read it?
I can read it. When you sit next to someone on a plane, what do you think goes through their minds? Plane-related question.
What goes through their mind because I sat down next to him?
Yeah, what do you think people are assuming about you based on not knowing you?
Well, I'm kind of shy by nature.
Uh-huh.
And part of why I'm outgoing is because I'm battling not being shy.
Okay.
And I usually, if you're shy and you find a way to turn it off, it's usually like, that's why all the rules are gone. Because now you've entered this realm that is so unnatural. So when I get on an airplane, usually I don't make eye contact. I kind of smile, then I tuck over out and stare out the window the entire time. So I would imagine people are thinking, wow, this guy's antisocial, or I don't know. I would imagine some ladies think, wow, that guy's hot, but it's been a long time since that probably actually happened.
So you're antisocial, but you have some self-confidence.
I don't know.
I always feel like I give off a very murdery vibe. Which
I can see that.
You can't.
If you weren't talking. When you start
my
talking,
voice kind of saves me a little bit. Yeah. But my face, I got like these sunken in eyes. I got this crazy bald head now.
Well, I like to read about serial killers.
Okay.
And
what do I have in common with them?
Well, you're charming, right?
Okay.
So when you talk to people, it's easy to just be friendly with you, and that's something most serial killers are good at naturally.
Okay.
But they're also, most of them are very smart, and you look smart.
Okay.
And so that kind of fits into the profile.
All right.
But they also tend to not be like socially normal. So you don't usually see a serial killer and your first thought is, oh, that guy's the captain of the football team. He's usually more of an approachable person. So I could see how you would say you fit that. I don't know that I would have pointed it at you and said, oh, you look like a serial killer. But.
Well, I know I'm not. Because for serial, you have to have killed more than one person.
Yeah.
And I've killed. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm not killing.
He lost his stomach for it after number one.
Yeah, no, I've killed 0 people. Not on the board yet. Do you think serial killers look down on just people that have murdered one person? You're like,
maybe
talk to me when you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
You gotta get a streak going.
No, what happened? Well, actually, most
and
of
the
them
one-time murder is like, all this hype on all the extremes. I'm just trying to be a middle-of-the-road murderer here.
Just trying to be a middle-of-the-road murderer.
Trying to be mad.
You kill one person.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Everybody's mad, you know?
Yeah.
Some people are mad that I killed one person. Some people are mad that I stopped. Like, how do you please everybody?
No, you can't. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, you think people think you're hot on an airplane. That's good.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Let's do this one.
Probably not true, but I'm going to keep believing it. I have to at this point.
Come up with a new Olympic sport in which you would definitely medal.
Oh, okay. That saves us because I came up with a new Olympic sport.
Oh, good.
And my wife told me I was not allowed to have that idea.
What was the idea?
It was Olympic Kegel lifting.
Oh my God. I have a feeling that would get a lot of ratings, though.
Do it. Oh, I think
would there be men's and women's Kegel lifting, or is it intramural? I know. Well, we have those muscles, but I don't know how we utilize them.
Oh yeah, but I think you're right. It would get the views. At least the first year, people would have to be like, "What is going on? I've got to see what's happening here." It might
Just
might
Bob,
be better.
I'm imagining Bob Costas announcing up next on NBC Olympics. We've got women's Kegel lifting. I think dudes would tune in because it seems attractive, but I think the top people in the sport, they would not be They would not be happy with what they were watching.
Yeah. Well, and I think you'd, as it began, it might be a lot more enjoyable, but as time moves on, you start to get afraid of these people, These big burly ladies that can really just clamp down and
Also,
what can they pinch off in there?
oh my
That kind of
God.
strength.
Oh, that's true. Well, you got to consider. They'd all be single ladies.
Oh man.
Or lesbians. Very good at their activities with those muscles. I don't know. We've gone down.
How it works. I just don't know how that works.
Well, you're
You're
the inventor of the sport.
I know.
Give me the answer.
I've got to do some research.
Okay.
I'm
Do
meant
some
to
research.
approve it by my committee before I can research that without having repercussions. It's okay, honey. This is research.
Yeah. I want to see you at the pitch meeting in front of the International Olympic Committee pitching Olympic Kegels. The pitches start out with, hear me out.
Yep. But it does have, it meets all the criteria,
It's a muscle group.
Yeah.
We have
It's
sports
athletic,
that-
you can train for it.
Yeah.
You get stronger.
Romina Stanislav was caught using steroids and she's now disqualified from Olympic Kegel.
Probably one of the worst sports for cramps.
Oh my gosh. She had a cramp. Yeah. You have to make sure you're at your peak time of the month to compete in that sport. Oh my gosh, this is gonna get us in trouble. But let the comments fly, angry people. You can only make me more viral.
How dare I? I have no right to talk about this. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, me neither. Good. Well, thanks, Joe. This is good. There's no better way to end than that. So appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Feel free to send in questions you might have for future episodes. If you want to get advice from strangers, that's always the best kind of advice. We'll give you life advice. You can send them to me on any of my social media platforms or to my email, which is freelunch@alexvelluto.com. You can also submit your questions after leaving a 5-star review for the podcast, and those have a very good chance of making it on because I love getting good reviews. So thank you so much for watching or listening to this, depending on how you consume it, and we'll see you next time on Free Lunch with Alex Velluto, which is me, and I have to keep saying that.